Guys, this is Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you could be here today with me. So I have 3 looks, 1 palette on the Nomad by Juvia's Place. So this palette actually released, I couldn't find the exact release date, but I do know that this palette actually released about 2 weeks ago on the Juvia's Place website, and we just kind of got a oh, here's the packaging, and then boom, the palette was here, okay? And I just kind of decided to leap and order the palette. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put like in the inner corner when I ordered the palette, because I actually did order the palette on launch day or launch evening, because it was totally random when the palette launched. But overall, this is a beautiful 9-pan palette by Juvia's Place, and the artwork, as we have come to expect, is gorgeous. And we have this woman here and this nice holographic design behind her with the greens and going into the lighter green, going into the other green with some oranges and browns here, and then you have the Nomad here written in that same holographic format. On the back, when you turn the product around, you do have the ingredients of the eyeshadow palette. The palette is cruelty free and is designed and formulated in the United States of America and is manufactured in the PRC. So please do remember, if people manufacture their products in the PRC, they can still be cruelty free, but if they are sold in the PRC, which is the People's Republic of China, then they do have to go through animal testing, and that makes the brand not cruelty free. I know, seems really backwards, but that's their loss, okay? So this palette, once you open it, is actually good for 24 months. Now, if you're thinking that this palette, did I even open it for you guys? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. So we'll skip. We'll go into that other fact I was going to say in a moment, but let's look at this gorgeous color scheme right here. It is so pretty. And then you have the same woman on the inside, which we've kind of come to expect with Juvia's Place. And I do have some swatches on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is Dr. Ash and her makeup. And I'm just going to link it here so you guys can have it, and link it down below. But I do have swatches of this palette on there, so I will insert that so you guys can see what the palette looks like against my skin complexion. However, I think this palette is beautiful. It's definitely grungy. It's definitely neutral. And it's giving all the fall vibes. And I think that Juvia's Place definitely did a great job color curating this palette, okay? Because I love neutral. Okay, no, I'm going to take that back. I have respect for neutrals, but my neutrals are really more like hot, fiery red, brown, orangey brown, those type of tones. And you guys know I love those type of tones. Those are my type of neutrals. But this type of neutral really got to me. I am not like a taupey brown type of neutral girl. That's not me. But when I saw this palette, I was like, this is gorgeous, and I love it. So if you're thinking that this palette might look a little smaller than their usual 9-pan palettes, then you are absolutely correct. So this is the size of the Nomad, and then I pulled out the Tribe palette, which is my favorite palette by Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe, and this is the Nomad. So, you know, the Tribe palette is actually a 9-pan palette by them, and so it's the Nomad, and you can obviously see the difference right here and the sizes of the palette. And I feel like, I don't know if Juvia's Place has been listening to us, but I feel like maybe they've taken some of our critiques into account, because I love the 9-pan style, but the size of the pans, like, is just intimidating, okay? And Juvia's Place is already an affordable brand. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this palette retails for $15, while the Tribe retails for $20. But it's like, come on, we just don't need all that product. So this is the Tribe right here on my right, and then this is the Nomad on my left. And you can obviously see that the palette sizes, or the pan sizes of the palette, are a lot smaller. And it's like, okay, this is enough product, okay? Because Lord knows who's really panning one of these. This is a lot of product. So, in the Tribe palette, we actually have 32.4 grams of product. That is the total net weight of the palette. And each pan is 1.14 ounces. Okay. So in the Nomad, we have 18.9 grams of product. So we're talking about almost 75% to, no, not 75%. We're talking about half to 40% of a reduction in the net weight. and this pan is 0.67 ounces. So that makes this very much attractive to me, okay? Plus, it's $15 versus we're saving $5 versus the Tribe. This is $20. Even though Juvia's Place is affordable, it's like, but we just still don't need all that shadow. And I think brands are really starting to listen to that. And if you wanted another comparison, I pulled out the Saharan by Juvia's Place. This is another one of my favorite palettes that they have. And this is more of their, I think this is like their 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, sorry, one of their 12 pan palettes with the smaller sizing right here of the shadows. And this palette is actually gorgeous. I try to play with it quite often, but I haven't played with it in a while. And here is the size comparison for the Nomad. So the Nomad is still, the palette size is still a little bit bigger as far as the pan size compared to the 12 pan. But like I said, it's a far cry from what we have with the Tribe, okay? And I don't have the actual packaging to the Saharan, so sorry, I can't tell you exactly how many ounces each pan is, but if I can find it on their website, I will be sure to throw it on the screen. So I have 3 looks for you guys today, and this is one of the looks, and I think it came out gorgeous. So let's go ahead and jump into the demo where I do the 3 looks for you, and then at the end we'll wrap up with some final thoughts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have my eyelids primed with my Too Faced concealer, but this is the Born This Way concealer, the multi-sculpting one in the shade, what shade? Butterscotch. So let's go ahead and dip in. These shades actually have no names. So I'm going to go ahead and take this first shade right here. Is kind of a mustardy shade. I have a Morphe M441 blending brush right here. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. And just so you can see, it's kind of a little powdery. I swatched this before and I have kind of dipped into the palette a little bit. And I'm just going to place this little mustardy shade up here in the crease. Now this is a very light shade. I'm going to see hopefully if it builds up. We shall see. Doesn't really look like it is. So I'm just gonna like pat it in, do my little trick, like pat it and then get multiple. There we go. We get a little bit more color. I'm just kind of blending that back and forth in my transition area, and we get a very light wash of color, as you can see. Now I am going to go in with this nice little brown medium tone shade here. And using the same brush, wiped it off. I'm going to pick up some of that, tap off the excess. Now that picks up actually pretty nicely. And I'm just patting it on, then I will blend it out. There we go. Ooh, that actually feels really nice. This consistency of this matte, it actually feels kind of creamy. I have noticed that like Juvia's Place mattes have been improving, which I can appreciate. So I'm like, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, they're so vibrant. Some mattes are, some mattes aren't, you know? And this shade blends out so nice. And that concealer is actually still a little tacky. So sometimes, you know, when this concealer is a little tacky, like, of course, the shade will adhere, but it can be a little hard for it to blend out. And I'm just kind of working that up into that first shade. And then kind of fanning it out right there. He's dropping something literally. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this little magnetic blending brush well no, this is the eyeshadow brush, excuse me, from Sephora, going in with this shade right here. And I'm just going to place this in my outer corner. And then work that up into my crease area. Just a little bit. I don't want to cover up too much of that warm tone brown shade, but I do want to kind of blow this up. Now going in with a Wayne Goss number 17 brush. I'm just picking up brushes, y'all, so You really don't need that many brushes for this look. And I'm just going to kind of blend out that crease area. And I do want to kind of darken this up just a little bit. So I'm going to go in with this deep brown shade right here. I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm just going to place it and kind of swirl it around into it. I don't want to really disturb that khaki green color. I just wanted to darken it up, and that was really pigmented, y'all. So the look is now dark. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of bring that over lightly into the crease. That same little Sephora brush, I did wipe off the excess, whatever shadows was on there. Going in with this beautiful yellow shade. This is like a matte with some shimmers in it. And I'm just going to pack this all over the lid and see. Oh, that actually picks up really, really nicely. Okay. Now, the glitter, you do have to kind of be cautious that the glitter does kind of just flop around. These mattes with these glitters in it, I don't know. Like, I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Like, people, like, they put the glitter in there like, oh, it's just going to add this, like, extra boost. But then at the end of the day, it's like, no, it ain't doing nothing but flying all around. And I'm just going to kind of take that same Wine Goss number 17. I'm going to fuse those edges in together. Make sure that our look is cohesive right there, and it's not just like a block of color. Okay, now I do want to go back in with that same Morphe brush right here and go back with our first transition shade, which is this right here. Tapping it off and intensifying. The crease area. And now, unfortunately, we have little specks of glitter that are traveling up because the look, it traveled up. And that yellow is actually really, really pretty. I am going to take the yellow up just a tiny bit, taking just a little bit more of the yellow, kind of blended it into there, as you know how I usually like my shadows. Okay, so I'm gonna go throw some liner on and some lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the second look here. So I'm going back in with that same Morphe M441 brush, and I am going to take, let's see. I am going to take the orangey shade right here, tapping that brush off, and I'm going to throw this in the crease. And I'm just working that back and forth. And I'm just going to kind of build that shade up. And that shade actually darkens up pretty nicely. I'm really liking how these mattes feel. It's kind of like when I did my mattes, when I did the video for the Fumi video, like, it was just like, okay, we're improving quality. Okay, that is pretty. Okay, so now I am going to wipe that brush off, and I do, before we get too far along in the look, and I make it too dark, I'm going to take that same little Sephora brush I was using earlier, and I'm going to pack this shade right here into the inner corner, that space where I left. And I'm just going to kind of like pick it up. And this shade I have used once before as a matte look, and it actually turned out pretty nicely. So I'm just going to throw that, and that's just going to kind of lighten up that inner corner for the other shades that are a little bit more grungy that I'm about to lay down. Going to go in with this khaki shade again, and I'm going to take that Wayne Goss number 17 brush. Try not to dirty up all my brushes in life. And I'm just going to run this in the crease, blend it back and forth. Now this, you do get a little dimension, but I don't see. There we go. You get a little bit better color payoff. That's what I was looking for. Now wiping that brush off, I am going to go in with the deepest green in the palette, tapping that off. And I'm going to throw that in the outer. Oh, that is a pretty shade, and it picks up nicely even with this lovely blending brush. Look at that. Okay, just turning the brush on the side, putting that in the crease. Sometimes you guys know I like to have a gradient, plus the way my eyes are set up, it just works a little bit better. Pick up a tad bit more of that green, same brush right here. I'm just going to tap it right there. There we go. Going in with my favorite little Tarte synthetic brush, I'm going to take, it's only 2 shimmers in this palette, so I'm going to take this beautiful shimmer right here. Very taupey color. Tap it off. So pretty. It's like I got a little bit of fallout. This is dry, but I think what we can come to expect from Juvia's Place shimmers at this point is they don't disappoint. I am getting considerable amount of fallout though. So this shade is kind of glittery. And I'm just gonna kind of bring that up just a tiny bit. I don't want to take it up too here because I really like how that green is right there. So I'm not gonna bring that up too far right there. All right, so let's do some liner and we'll come back and look at both of the 2 looks, okay? Okay, I am back and these are like the final look for both of the looks. So I think that this came out beautiful. Okay, so this shade is really taupey in nature, but when you put it next to these greens, it takes on a nice green olivey shift. And I really like how vibrant this yellow is, even though it drives me crazy that it's that glitter in there. But overall, that this shade is a very nice vibrant shade, which is so hard to find in yellows. Now I feel like this shade kind of just plays its purpose, maybe more of a blend out shade. It's not super pigmented, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. But so far I'm loving these looks. I paired it off with a little bit of liner, my liner from Pat McGrath, not to mention with the good old faithful Ardell Demi Wispy lashes, and then a little Flesh Floor lip gloss by Pat McGrath with a chestnut lip liner, because I was like, oh, these are just beautiful fall looks. So you can definitely go very neutral, or you can go neutral glam with this shadow. So with this palette, and you know I love a good versatile palette, so that's how I get like a lot of looks out of my palettes, because like, okay, yes, I'm out on the town, or ooh, daytime look, or you know, potentially maybe wear it to work, you know, depending on what your job is. So I'm loving this. So we're gonna go get ahead into one more look. Okay, I'm back. Eyelids are reprying using that concealer by Too Faced Born This Way, and going to dip into the palette. We're going to take it, we're going to go smoky this time. I'm going to go ahead and take my Morphe, this is the M441 brush I was using before, going in with this shade to help blend out these darker shades I plan on putting in my crease. And I'm just blending that across the brow bone and into my crease, the transition area. And it also kind of, this shade kind of helps set the concealer. The concealer is still a little tacky. And just blending that. You just get a very light wash of color with the shade. If your complexion is lighter than me, then you know it will definitely show up better on you. Okay, so wiping that brush off, going in with this shade right here, tapping off the excess, and starting, I'm going to start placing that in my crease and then blending out. There you go. I'm like, it's really raining outside. The weather has been so nice this week in Chicago, which I'm glad about considering our June was a bust. Remember when I was making all those videos like, hey y'all, I got this sweater on and it's damn near Memorial Day. Spring / summer was not fooling with us. It literally did not get warm until after Father's Day. And y'all know Father's Day is literally like, what, the 3rd weekend in June? And it wasn't even like, oh, let me put this blue jean jacket on type of cold. It was like, oh, let me wear this little leather jacket. You know, like the weather was not fooling with us at all. This shade by itself is quite gorgeous. You can't really see what it looks like until it kind of stands out by itself. And I'm just filling in some of the gaps that I had from like the concealer. And then just blending it in. And that first shade, even though we don't get the pigmentation that I would truly like from that shade, it does really help the blending. Switching now, going in with that Wayne number 17 brush, I am going to take this deeper shade right here, and we're going to deepen up the crease with that shade. And this brush is a lot smaller, so we won't cover up our first lid. And I'm just really going to concentrate it. I like blend it up and up and up, but just really want to focus it here. Blend out the edges. I have to be conscious when I look straight forward. As you see, I'm missing color like right there. So that's one thing about my hooded eyes. Like I'm always conscious with, like making sure I bring that shade up so my proportions are like even. So I think I have like a little bit of glitter stuck in my brush. See, when I'm looking down, I'm like, it's kind of bare right there. So that's why I will go in. I'm gonna fuse it up just a little bit, but I'm gonna go back with that M441 brush and go back into this shade right here. And it's really important when you're working with darker colors. When you're working with lighter colors, it's like, oh, okay. But see, that just kind of like helped it, like you need it. And now I can take that smaller brush and going back in that deeper color. I think I just took the wrong color, y'all. I did. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. And I'm gonna make it fine. I don't know what just happened. I might have took the wrong color with the wrong brush. I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. And it's clearly like a little bit of glitter stuck in my brush. And that's the irritating part when you have these glitter mattes, like in that yellow shade. Or whatever. Okay, now I'm liking how that looks. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with that little flat Sephora shader brush. I'm going to take this shade right here. This is another beautiful foiled shimmer shade. Now this one, I believe, does not have like the glitter that the other shade has. And I'm just going to pack it on the outer corner. I'm going to bring it up some into that crease area. I'm going to bring it over. This color is so pretty. It's actually very rare that you get a great grungy matte. Yeah, this one does not have as much glitter as the other shade. And I'm just gonna bring it in just a little bit there. I do have a little bit of fallout, just a little bit. Sometimes that's to be expected. Like Juvia's Place, what's the names are just so bodied that sometimes you will have. Now, going in with this situation right here. Now this, let me be careful. I'm just gonna use that same Sephora brush that we were using before. I wiped it off. Whew. Yep. I mean, it is just so pretty. That shade is gorgeous. I'm gonna wipe that brush off one more time. Going back in with that darker shimmer shade right here. And I'm just going to re-zhuzh right here on the side so we make sure we don't lose that. So it's more of a focus, like, okay, that is a pop, not the whole eyelid. Go. Kind of just blend that up. Just make sure we're straight in there. You know, and I'm just wiping that brush off really good. And I think I'm just gonna pop in real quick into that yellow. Just gonna throw that in the inner corner, because with this, it's quite a bit of green in that inner corner, so this is just gonna give us a little bit of unexpected lightness. Oh, I like it. It's a moment. Oh, I'm gonna do the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the final look. Once again, I just have on those good old faithful lashes by Ardell. I was like, I almost forgot the name. Ardell the Demi Whispies. And then I still have on the same lip gloss as before. If you guys hear a little noise, hopefully in editing, I'll be able to block it out. But there are some kids playing outside in the front yard. I live in a condo building. I think it's wonderful that the kids are playing outside. Kids deserve to play outside, okay? So I just really love how this look came together. I love all three looks, so just let me know, you know, which one is your favorite look. This palette is beautiful, okay? And I think Juvia's Place, they're getting better. They've been going through a whole lot lately, like, let's be honest. But the last couple of releases I have been very impressed with, starting with the Fumi palette and the Nomad. I did not pick up the Warrior 3. I was just like, I'm not going to use it. It's just a little bit too all over the place for me, even though I do enjoy a good color. But overall, I think this palette is beautiful, and I think it's going to work so well for a lot of different people and a lot of different people's makeup aesthetics, okay? Because, you know, it's a very warm, grungy palette. So for me, this is the type of neutrals palette that I appreciate. It's not too beige. It's warm. We have some grungy green moments, which I think are just beautiful. Now, this shade, I wish it was just a little bit more pigmented. However, it's not. It's just really more of a great blend out shade. So I do appreciate it for that, because, you know, this matte and this matte can be very dark. This one too right here. So we do need something to help blend it out. A pleasant surprise for me was this yellow shade. So it was so easy to pack. As you see, I did it in the inner corner here, and it just really brought looks to life. So although I am not here for that glitter in it, please stop putting glitter in mattes. If you can't figure out how to formulate your glitter in your mattes, when we start blending, that the glitter is not flying all over to everything else or being stuck in your blending brushes, then don't do it. And I don't think anybody of y'all have. So just stop doing it. Why? But overall, that shade is beautiful. It is very punchy, army yellow, okay? Because it's not a bright sunshine. It looks pretty bright, but it just really pairs well with these greens. Now these two, now they only gave us 2 shimmers, and I think the shimmers that they gave us were excellent, okay? We had just right. You got a nice neutral taupey shimmer here and a nice grungy deep shimmer. I'm going to start with this shimmer right here. It is very pretty. It's very foiled. It has a lot of body to it. It is thick. It is creamy. And you don't have to wet them. You're going to get some nice consistent looks with it. You can even use this shimmer to deepen out the outer V if you want to, although these two colors are very much close in color together. Okay, now this shade is the perfect shimmer because you can use it with your lighter mattes right here, and you can just, okay, we got a simple look. And I think that that shade will really come off taupey and really play well. But then when you put it with the greens, it takes on like this beautiful green, mossy, taupey shift. And I think it's beautiful, okay? Because a lot of times we have like our greeny golds, but we don't see a lot of taupey golds a lot. So I'm really digging this palette. The pan size is perfect for me, how I talked about earlier. And I just think that this is a palette that I can transition into fall perfectly, go through winter. And then even, you know, I live in Chicago, so I can wear it during spring too. So, because ain't no telling what the weather is going to be doing. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video on the Nomad palette by Juvia's Place. Please let me know down in the comments below. Did you pick up this palette, or did you pass on it, or were you not quite sure? Because they did launch a lot at one time, and it just kind of snuck in on us. It was like, oh, it's here, okay. So let me know down below what you think. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and please hit the notification bell so you know when I'm putting out another video. And I have another video for you very, very soon. And please subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you here, my little makeup family. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. And you know, chat hands. Ooh.